Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Padmavati Tungatatti from Teach Connect. In this video, this is part 4 of National Curriculum Framework Foundational Stage videos. In this part 4, we shall understand what's the meaning of competency, what is a learning outcome, and what's a learning objective. We have to put this in order. Competencies are those skills which the child should achieve by the end of the year, gradually moving with the help of certain learning outcomes. It is one competency after the other with a particular group of learning outcomes. One learning outcome cannot be achieved in one particular day. Therefore, this one learning outcome can be broken down into 4 or 5 series of meaningful learning objectives. Having understood the meaning of competency, learning outcome, learning objective, now we should look at what are the areas the child should be aware of. The teacher should be first aware of these 5 areas where the teacher can frame a particular lesson plan and see that the learning outcomes are achieved. The 5 domains where the teacher has to be thorough with in order to transact her knowledge or allow the child to develop are physical development, social, emotional, and ethical development, with cognitive development, language and literacy development, aesthetic and cultural development. Now let us see that physical development is first. Next, the collaboration and the emotional intelligence, that is SEED, socio-emotional and ethical development. Then comes the cognitive development. There is no need of any hurry. There is no hurry at all. We can always counsel the parents when we have to go into a particular learning outcome to develop a particular competency. Next, after cognitive development, we have language and literacy development, aesthetic and cultural development. Physical development is first. That's the domain. If we have to develop a child, if we have to show a physical development to a child, there are 3 areas which the curricular goals can be built upon. Children develop habits that keep them healthy and safe. First, it is themselves. The next curricular goal is to be developing the sharpness in sensorial perception. And the curricular goal 3 is to develop fit and flexible body. Now, these are the curricular goals. From these curricular goals, how do we keep them healthy and safe is the competency. In order to achieve that goal of keeping them healthy and safe, what are the learning objectives, learning outcomes which we are going to take care of? If it is developing habits that keep them healthy and safe, we can take this one particular example and go through it. Now, for the curricular goal, children develop habits that keep them healthy and safe. Now, what is that? They take care of themselves, their environment, and whatever they are using. And they have to take into collaboration the teacher also. That means first about their self. This is the competency. Their self. Whether the food is nutritious or junk. Are they wasting their food? Are they utilizing their food which they brought? Then taking care of their hygiene, classroom hygiene. Slowly from inwards, they go outwards. How do they see that they keep themselves safe in the environment and they also don't cause any damage to the property around and don't harm anybody around them? And what are the situations which are safe and unsafe for them? This comes under the curricular goal. Children develop habits that keep them healthy and safe. Slowly moving from this first competency, liking for and understanding nutritious food and does not waste food. They have to show a liking towards their food and the topic of nutritious food and not wasting food. And they should only develop understanding of nutritious food. Like we now conduct so many programs, like there are nutritious food programs, there are junk food, how to eliminate junk food. There are talks given to children, the pre-primaries in role play and gradually moving on to grade 1 and grade 2. Therefore, how do they take care of themselves, their hygiene? This is a continuation from home. These are competencies. How we are going to break these competencies of taking care of themselves and their hygiene, self-care, we can further break this down into learning outcomes and they can be achieved. Now, after physical development comes the social, emotional, and ethical development. They should be able to balance their emotions, very important, goal 4. Do some productive work with their small little hands. Grade 2 children are also included. This is not for pre-primary or preschools alone. This is until grade 2. And now, how do they develop their regard for the natural environment around them? That means they are building up a connectivity with the environment. That is basically social, emotional, and ethical development. They're ethically responsible for their property around them. Now comes the learning. They only develop the sense of world around through observation and logical thinking. They develop mathematical understanding. This comes under alpha numerical literacy. When once they understand what are the quantities, what are the shapes, measures, small, big, and then they can go into the language of expressing using their communication skills. They can only develop effective communication skills. Either it should be in the mother tongue or it should be in the language of instruction. The main aim of using the mother tongue is not to stress the child on the language, but to only make sure that the child learns. Now, how is language 1 developed? The first language which we have taken up based on the interest of the child, they should be able to read and write a little fluently. Fluent means when the teacher does it, the child should be able to catch those words with a sense of rhythm and sound, should be able to reproduce and can learn. Learn to read and write. And the second language can slowly be brought into picture so that the child gets a familiarity with the language. That can be done by grade 2. Now, after this, the very important concern is to balance their emotion, express them, and appreciate others. This aesthetic sense is put at the top because appreciating someone for something is very important. It is way beyond their own self, leading to self-actualization. Therefore, these are the 5 important areas which the teacher should focus upon in order to improve and develop the child. There is no ultimate like teaching them 1 to 100 or 1 to 1000. There is no skill such type of syllabus skill is not given here. We have to only move on from one competency to other. Curricular goal, build up into competencies, those into learning outcomes, those into learning objectives. It will be a fantastic experience if a teacher can connect herself with the children. Then the learning happens very easily. The teacher can also learn to transact her knowledge effectively by developing a connectivity with the child. Thank you so much for watching my video. This is part 4, focusing on the 5 domains leading to curricular goals. There are totally 12 curricular goals, and the 13th one obviously is to read, write, be fluent, and develop positive learning habits. Share this video to another preschool teacher. Be a part of the mission of improving schools for their quality in education. Thank you very much.